Forget that. Howdy ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. Going to show you what I've been doing. I've gotten some more seedlings planted, and I've also done an extra step which makes it easier to keep them watered, or at least keep the water you've watered there in the plants, or there in the soil. Here are the spinach seedlings that I planted. As you see, they're actually starting to thrive. They kind of struggled for a bit, but even though I was careful, they still get a little bit of shock on when you transplant them. But I've been watering them, but now that they've gotten a little bit bigger, I've also added mulch. This is chopped up leaves and actually bark from when I was splitting some firewood. All that mulch will cover the soil underneath and keep the water from evaporating. And my next step is actually going to water it down because it's actually really loose and the wind will just blow it away. So I have to go ahead and water it to kind of help it crust over and settle. But it's really important to do that. I've also transplanted my cilantro, which took a lot longer to actually get up to transplanting size. But I've mulched it also, as you'll see. Mulching is really important, and the trick is, and this is one of those, this is my garden tip, but it's also one of those things, a heads up. Gardening, growing your own food is not easy. It takes work. It's work. Now, if you jump in and try to do a whole bunch of stuff, you could get disillusioned pretty quick about how much work it is. So those of you that are starting off new, here in Shed Wars, growing for the first time, and maybe it's a little bit late for this advice, only grow a couple of things, especially, maybe even in planters or small planter beds, because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to do. Because, hey, spending the time to grab mulch, I've got, where I've done, you got to grab mulch and take it and then spread it around, and then carefully mess with the plant to make sure it's not buried, because one of the things mulch does is also help suppress weeds, but you don't want to suppress the growth of your plant. So it takes a little time. Everything takes a little time, but it saves time from watering. It saves money from watering, but you have to have the mulch. So where are you going to get the mulch? Well, maybe you're going to you have to go out and buy mulch if you don't have any. Well, one thing you might discover as you go along, if you try to do a whole bunch at once when you first start, is you might end up with a $10,000 tomato. You buy stuff to make raised beds instead of using wood or pallets or something you take apart. It's real easy to spend a lot of money. You have to spend money watering. I mean, I'm not on a well here. Here's my hose. I'm not on a well. I'm on a water system. So I'm watering this a few times, but I'm going to start saving water from my downspouts or from the roof of my, either from the roof of my, what used to be a chicken coop, because there's no chickens in there, or from the roof of my shop back there. I think it was Arkansas Woodcutter that mentioned, putting buckets underneath where the water runs out, save that water, and then water your plants with it. I think you got to pay for that. You end up paying for a whole bunch of stuff. Pay for seed starting soil. Pay for plants. Pay for mulch. You pay, like I said, you can end up with a $10,000 tomato. Well, but if you start off slow and do things and learn, you can do things like, hey, next fall, chop up all your leaves with your lawnmower. Got a video on that. Actually, several people do. Even John at Will It Grows got a good video on that. It's actually better than mine. Even though he's Johnny Boy and he's the competition, he knows what he's doing. Go learn from him. We're really all in this together, even though it's a competition. Anyways, I think that's enough for now. I don't want to end up with another 22-minute video like that seed starting video. I mean, I apologize to anybody who watched that whole thing, even though I can't imagine anyone actually stayed through that whole one. Anyway, that's your tip now. Mulch to suppress weeds, to keep water in, and start off small, learn and grow as you go along. And do what you can with what you have where you are. Don't necessarily buy it. God bless you all. See you next time.